From Fox 15 and KLAF NBC, News 15 Today starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome back. You're watching News 15 Today. I'm Alex Worstel.
And I'm Carter Simino. Thanks for tuning in this Tuesday morning. Let's go over to state news. The Louisiana Office of Motor Vehicles is warning of an imposter site. These third-party websites obtain residential's personal data. In addition, these sites are overcharging vehicle registration services. The OMV urges residents to verify the URL beforehand, print and save your receipts. The OMV also points out third-party websites have ads. Expresslane.org does not. A notice for Iberia Parish drivers. A portion of Anderson Street will be closed until this afternoon. Drivers should take alternate routes and make sure to be aware of road closure signs. Well, it's time to get a check on the weather with Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier. Adam, starting the morning off with a little bit of rain.
Yeah, we're seeing some of those showers on radar right now, Carter, where they're very few and far between, but still watching a few of those pushing off towards the north and east. Now, there's a pretty hefty downpour just to the south of Lafayette right now, right over Youngsville, and you can see that a lot of this mainly out over the Atchafalaya, just some light showers, but there is that pocket of heavier rain. It is basically from, say, Ambassador south here into southern Lafayette Parish. That is going to be crossing Highway 90 right about Broussard in about maybe 5 minutes, if that. Temperatures out the door right now in the lower 70s. It is a warm and very muggy day out there to start off. And through the rest of the morning time, I threw in some thunderstorm possibilities. We're going to see a warm front moving northward, and that is going to allow us to see at least a chance at some rumbles of thunder. Now, it's not going to storm all day long, but we are going to be seeing those showers and thunderstorms with temperatures in the mid-70s. Going forward, though, into the day tomorrow, we are watching a severe threat for our area. You can see that here. We're going to talk more on that and what that means for your forecast coming up. All right, sounds good, Adam. We'll check back soon. Moving on, for students at UL Lafayette, this upcoming fall semester may look a little different as the university announced its plans for mostly face-to-face classes this August. News 15 spoke with one freshman who's excited to hopefully get the full college experience.
I'm extremely excited. I've never seen UL at its full capacity, at its full potential. I'm hoping that in the fall I can experience the things that I never have before.
The university will continue monitoring CDC recommendations and guidelines over the coming months. We'll break down more of the changes on News 15. Well, if you're eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine, Ochsner Lafayette General is administering the Pfizer vaccine all week at the Hyman Center. Go to ochsnerlg.org/vaccine to schedule your vaccine. Well, updating you on the latest COVID-19 case numbers. According to the Louisiana Department of Health, cases increased by 171 across the state. The total amount of confirmed cases now sit at 375,261, including nearly 22,000 cases in Lafayette Parish. Deaths in the state related to the coronavirus have surpassed 9,000. Lafayette Parish is now reporting 248 of those deaths. Well, nursing homes can now relax visitation policies under new guidance from the Louisiana Department of Health. LDH states facilities should allow responsible indoor visitation at all time residents, regardless of a resident or visitor's vaccination status. One Karen Crow woman was finally able to see her grandmother this weekend after a year of FaceTime calls and many window visits.
The stress from the year felt like it just disappeared within that 30 minutes of being able to be there with her. Yes, we had to sit outside. Yes, we had to mask up, but I could still hold her hand. And that was just in itself worth the wait.
To view more information on nursing homes and adult residential care facility visitation guidelines, head to our website, klaf.com. Well, for millions of American college students, spring break is a rite of passage. And a year into the pandemic and coming out of a brutal winter, the idea of a vacation is tempting to many, regardless of age. But health experts say it's still too soon to let your hair down. NBC's Sarah Dallof reports.
Scenes from last year's spring break already playing out this year in some areas during the continuing pandemic.
I just feel like it's time to move on with our lives and stuff.
Several popular destinations implementing or considering curfews and upping the police presence.
Listen, you can't let people get hurt. It's that simple.
Some universities eliminating spring break altogether. UC Davis offering $75 grants to spend at local businesses, incentives to stay close. But it's not just college students. Millions of Americans are itching for a change of scenery and wondering when it'll be safe.
The answer is not yet. The Centers for Disease Control is still saying that we really need to keep doing what we're doing.
That means continued mask wearing and social distancing, according to Cleveland Clinic infectious disease specialist Dr. Frank Esper. And while the CDC says it's now safe for fully vaccinated adults to gather in small groups indoors,
we have come a long way from where we were in early January, but we still have much work to do.
crowded public spots like train stations and airports remain higher risk for everyone until the country reaches herd immunity.
But I think everybody feels cooped up like a pigeon right now, that they're ready to fly. It's just a matter of we need to hold on just a little bit longer.
Things like camping, hiking, and destinations within driving distance are lower, but not zero risk.
There's no guarantee that, when you stop for gas or you go to a rest stop that you can't get exposed.
Your best bet? Take steps to minimize your risk. Spending spring break with those only in your household. Sarah Dolph, NBC News.
While it's too early to know how many Americans are actually booking travel, they're certainly looking, according to Expedia. Warm weather destinations including Orlando, Vegas, and Los Cabos, Mexico, were among the most searched places for possible travel in March and April.
Well, after a battle between co-hosts, The Talk is going on a brief hiatus. Details into this trending story coming up.
And looking at radar right now, we are seeing a few light showers out there, but could we see some storms this afternoon? Details just ahead.
And now Bear always on the hunt for an exclusive into things we enjoy every day. Today he's showing you the process of how coffee is brewed at Jet Coffee.
Derek, can you hear me? Mike, here I am.
No,
Thanks,
Derek. That was me. I forgot to turn my pack on. I appreciate it.
And it was me too. I forgot to turn the mic on. Look at it. Look at it.
Welcome back to News 15 today. Coffee moves the world, or at least a big part of the world. Getting coffee into a cup is a process.
I love how you had to read that. That's so funny. Well, Jet Coffee has a roasting facility in Vermilion Parish. And believe it or not, they let Al Abear in this morning to take a look at the roasting process. We're going to check in with him now.
I think he's sitting on a bag of beans.
I think he is.
Carter, Alex, once again, secret location here in Vermilion Parish. John Tomasini, Jet Coffee. You know, can't tell you a lot about where we are, but I can tell you this. We love coffee on this morning show. And John, I had a pretty good reputation for making coffee at News 15 at one time.
I've heard the stories.
You've heard the stories?
All the stories, yeah.
So, John, okay, so coffee starts in these big sacks, okay, and they're green. Tell us about where you get your coffee from.
So we get 3 regions. We have a Brazil right here. We have a Ethiopia, and we have a Sumatra. And they all have a different flavor to them. And so the cool thing is when you blend them all together, the notes of each one combine into one roast in percents. And when you get the flavor as the cup as a customer, you can really taste that smoothness of all 3 of them together. So this is it right here. If you want to feel them and touch them, it's crazy to think they're actual green beans and they're from other countries, and we get them here locally in Acadiana. It's pretty crazy.
I think it is cool. It's amazing that these sacks of green beans end up being coffee. And John, earlier you were talking about how long it takes for you to get the right blend together. Tell me what's involved in mixing this and getting the perfect blend for the store.
Yeah, for us, the original start is a huge thank you to Nate Johnson and Chris at Rev. When we first moved here in 2014, we wanted to have a blend that was different than everyone else, but good. And so I got with them. It was my partner Joel at the time, and we went back and forth several times on the blend that we liked, certain percentages, ratios that we like, things like that. And they did a phenomenal job. And so we're very, very beyond thankful for what they've done, which has allowed us to grow and expand and kind of do operations like this. So it's been great.
Now, John, I guess when you started, did you have an idea that you wanted something from Brazil, something from Ethiopia? How did you know where to start with all these different kinds of coffee in different countries?
Help from Nate and Chris, really all of that together, and just kind of playing with it a little bit, But they did a lot of great work for us. It's been awesome.
Well, I got to tell you, this is great stuff. I miss making coffee at News 15. It was a lot of fun. But look, John's going to teach me some stuff. Tommy's going to teach us some stuff. We're going to go back to the studio for more News 15 because you guys teach us stuff every morning.
No one misses Al making coffee at News 15 more than me. That is for sure.
I know that to be true. All right, thank you, Al. We'll check back in our next hour. Well, the Opportunity Machine is hosting a small business boot camp. The boot camp is designed to help entrepreneurs and small business owners learn the best practices of running a business. You can join local industry experts in virtual discussions about some of their biggest business-related obstacles.
Well, science enthusiasts, artists, and more are invited to apply for this year's Maker Faire Lafayette. The event is open for you to create and demonstrate your creation to others. The fair is free and for people of all ages. The event will go from April 5th to the 10th. Applications for the Maker Faire Lafayette are due by Friday, March 19th. To apply, go to lafayette.makerfaire.com.
Well, Faith Missionary Baptist Church is ready to bless the community. In partnership with Second Harvest Food Bank, a food distribution drive will take place Thursday for Acadia Parish residents. Due to COVID-19, organizers ask everyone to remain in their car. The distribution will take place from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Frog Festival grounds.
Well, more artists coming to the traffic signal boxes in Opelousas. This Thursday, the city will unveil the latest installment on Cresswell Lane. This box features art by Alicia Johnson Black, who is a native to Opelousas and a high school art teacher. Opelousas Tourism has already unveiled 6 other installments.
Downtown Alive is kicking off its spring season this Friday. The season kicks off with Cupid. The show will take place on the Downtown Alive Facebook page at 6 p.m. Friday. Also, several downtown Lafayette restaurants, including Tula Tacos, the Grouse Room, and Legends of Lafayette Downtown, are hosting watch parties. Well, The Talk is clamming up for now. The popular daytime program is going on a brief hiatus after a harsh exchange between co-host Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood.
The situation between the 2 women escalated after Osbourne defended Pierce Morgan during a show last week. There's been backlash on Morgan after he made comments questioning Meghan Markle's words on mental health during a recent interview with Oprah Winfrey.
Morgan stormed off the set of Good Morning Britain on air when one of his co-hosts questioned Morgan on air about those comments. According to numerous sources, CBS says they will conduct an investigation into the verbal battle between Osbourne and Underwood.
Osbourne says she doesn't agree with everything Morgan says, but says she supports his freedom of speech and considers him a friend. Well, coming up, our NBC Washington correspondent Tracy Potts reports on President Biden's day ahead in Washington.
But first, showers and thunderstorms are off to an early start. Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier is tracking more rain chances and a severe threat next. It is 5:45 on your Tuesday morning.
Always tracking, always alerting. Here's your Storm Track 15 weather.
Well, we are tracking showers and even a few thunderstorms on radar this morning.
That's right. Checking in with Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier, who is closely watching for possible severe weather tomorrow.
Yeah, there is a lot going on here, Alex and Carter, as we track these showers and some thunderstorms to start off your morning time. Now, no thunderstorms right now around us here in Acadiana. The thunderstorms did form up right as they crossed the Mississippi and into East and West Feliciana parishes, but those have since long pushed out of the area. But we're going to be watching for a few thunderstorms possibly as we get later on into the morning time. There's some pockets of heavier rain just moved out of Breaux Bridge here. You can see that pocket showing up on the interstate. Back down towards the south, though, we have some more of this rain that's going to miss Breaux Bridge just to the south and move through Youngsville and Broussard. More building back to the west here, and that is just to the north and west of Maurice. That's going to be heading into Lafayette if it holds together. Just a little sprinkle or two out there. Look at our temperatures across the area. Into the 70s right now, a very mild and muggy time. And the rest of your morning, I know that there's a lot of thunderstorms that you see here, but what this is indicating is that there is a chance at thunderstorms. It does not mean thunderstorms are actually going to happen. It just means that, there's the possibility we see a few of these showing up across the area. 70s remaining for the morning time. This afternoon, we see a lot of those temperatures getting back into the 80s. Yesterday, we hit 83 degrees, the warmest day of the year so far. Today, we could see that as rain chances actually fade away and things kind of settle down towards the evening hours there by 7 o'clock. Overnight, we see our temperatures dropping off to the upper 60s, right around 70 degrees. It's going to be a very muggy time once again. This morning, we're starting out in the 70s. It's very likely we'll be somewhere close to that tomorrow morning. But let's talk about the severe threat going into the day tomorrow, because this is something that I want you to pay attention to. The worst of this is going to be off to our north and east, back into Mississippi and Alabama. For us, though, there is still the possibility of a few of these storms becoming severe. We pick our Futurecast up here around lunchtime. Not a whole lot going on, maybe some light showers, but building back to the west. You see this line? It's a broken line of showers and maybe a rumble of thunder by 3 p.m. But watch what happens as it gets here into Acadiana. Boom! Showers and thunderstorms begin to pop up here. That's at 5 o'clock. And then they continue to develop, and these are pretty intense storms showing up on the eastern sides of Acadiana. So if you're from I-49 eastward, a better chance at seeing severe weather than, say, points to the west. And then once it gets past us, it really blows up and is going to be a pretty significant system, again, off to our north and east. But for us, we're still in a level 2 risk, meaning that we have the possibility of seeing damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes. And it is in that slight category for all three of them, so that's a pretty high category to keep an eye on. Question is, will the storms form up? And that's what we're going to have to figure out in the coming hours. But once we get through tomorrow, the forecast looks great. And we see a particularly impressive weekend. Very comfortable out there in the 70s with lots of sunshine. Cool conditions, though, starting off in the morning time in the 40s.
All righty, Adam, thank you very much. We'll check back one more time before the hour is up. Well, turning to national news now. Today, the Biden-Harris campaign style blitz across America continues, pushing $1,400 checks and other benefits from the American Rescue Plan.
But the administration is now facing a serious problem at the border, a sudden and massive influx of hundreds of children entering the U.S. without their parents. Tracy Potts has the story.
Shots in arms and money in pockets.
The Help is Here tour continues today with President Biden in Pennsylvania and Vice President Harris in Colorado, pushing the American Rescue Plan.
It's not selling it. It's literally letting people know their rights, right?
$1,400 relief payments are rolling out. Now, President Biden says 100 million COVID vaccinations will be done in the next 10 days. Republicans accuse him of taking credit for a rollout that was already underway when he took office.
Their effort to sprint to the front of this year-long campaign should not fool anybody.
Vaccinations are critical now with spring break approaching.
We have seen footage of people enjoying spring break festivities maskless.
Despite travel warnings, the TSA says 1.3 million people flew on Friday, a record during the pandemic, and now a different crisis. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, is headed to the border to temporarily house 3,200 migrant children arriving without parents after President Biden relaxed the Trump Remain in Mexico policy.
This is a human heartbreak. There's no other way to claim it than a Biden border crisis.
We want to expedite getting these kids out of these CBP facilities as quickly as possible.
This week, lawmakers consider 2 immigration bills, legal status for undocumented farm workers, and a path to citizenship for dreamers who came here illegally as children. The last comprehensive immigration reform was 8 years ago. This time we're hearing from both Democrats and Republicans that they'll probably deal with these issues piece by piece. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
Storm Track 15 meteorologist Adam Olivier tracking storms. He'll have a look at the forecast before we head into our next hour. Stay with us.
One final look at that forecast. Well, if you're headed out the door right now, all eyes are on radar as we're tracking a few of these showers out there. Some of these just to the north of I-10. They move through Breaux Bridge, a few more to the south on Breaux Bridge here, and then moving into Lafayette, in fact, just to the south of Ambassador and I-10. It's going to be crossing Ambassador very soon and then heading into downtown. We'll be watching that for you. And going forward through today, well, we have those storms to track in the forecast. It'll be warm and breezy at times. Of course, all eyes are going to be on that severe threat for your Wednesday. We'll have more on that coming up in our next hour.
Okay, Adam, thank you for that. Our coverage continues in our next hour and anytime on our website, KLAF.com.
We've got more local headlines, updates on our Crime Watch, and everything you need to know happening this Tuesday morning around Acadiana and the state. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break.
Good morning. We are watching some showers and thunderstorms in your forecast today, mainly during the morning time as a warm front lifts to the north of the area. Temperatures hold in the 70s here and actually start to climb to near 80 degrees by lunchtime. Now, it's not going to rain all day long, and it's really not even going to rain for much of the morning time. Just be aware that we'll have some of those pop-up storms. This afternoon, highs in the 80s, and we see those quieter conditions later on tonight, but we're setting the stage for some possible severe weather on your Wednesday, so stay tuned and keep up to date on the weather.